you have our pizza? Mister?
Yes, right here. Hawaiian style. Everybody's favorite.
For your information, next time, the president is allergic to pineapples.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Steve the Amateur Historian here with you. Thanks for joining me. In my last video, I introduced you to this little kind of brief series based around prior YouTube content I've created. The YouTube world of me before I became the Amateur Historian, and with my other two channels that I have at my disposal now. But I'm talking about stuff that is not even under my control anymore. And last video I introduced us to Steve's Idiot Box, where you got to see some of the most embarrassing things I've ever put out there for the whole world to see, but at the time I thought I was cool for doing it. Now, this channel was briefly used. I think I just uploaded a bunch of stuff and then it just sat there. But it has substance to it, and a lot of the stuff I put on this channel was on my other channel, my very first YouTube channel, which was all one word. It was ZeeTeveProductions, which sounds like protein shake powder. I don't know. But I created another channel that incorporated stuff from that channel. And that channel was just a catch-all of any kind of random videos and films and shorts and skits that I did before I actually started doing real film, starting in about middle of 2012. Now, this channel, all one word, which is probably why it's been so hard for me to find it, because I thought I split it into different words, is ZeeTeveProductions. Again, all one word. Now, this channel was a channel I created with my friend Shauna, who I met in 2006. We met as fellow churchgoers, or rather she was already going to the church that I started going to, and then I started going and we became really good friends. And not too long after we became friends, you know, I had a camera at my disposal, a little, you know, it's the middle of the first decade of the 2000s, so I had a mini DV tape camera. I actually had two of them during this time, but us becoming friends, we started making videos together, and that's how this channel came about. Steve the Amateur Historian. Now, like my Steve's Idiot Box channel, a lot of what was put on me and my friend Shauna's ZeeTeveProductions channel was stuff that we'd already completed by that point. But it represents, for the most part, there's a couple things that never quite got up there because we just dumped a bunch of stuff. And then almost as soon as we created the channel, we kind of just stopped making videos together, unfortunately. But you know, I'd bring my camera around to the church and we do weird, random, whatever, but things really started, it probably would have been later, you know, fall of 2006. Another girl that went to the church started videoing me and Shauna. We were just pretending to fight, and we had this running thing that started because she was a couple years behind me, and she was in high school after I'd graduated. And she had some teachers that I'd had, and one of her teachers was actually a cross-country coach, and she would take, sometimes I would lend her stuff, but usually she just took it. If I showed, whatever I showed up at church, and she would take it and run away with it. And she would go to school, because she would tell these teachers that she was my younger sister. And as proof, she would like steal my cross-country sweatshirt that had my name on the back, so it was specifically mine. So if she's not really my sister, well, how did she gain control and brief ownership of that? Oh, get out of here. There's a piece of dust in my face. How would she come into possession of that if, in effect, we weren't technically brother and sister? And that became a long-term thing for like 5 or 6 years. Even my best friend, Scott, would never refer to her by her name. She referred to her as my sister. So that was where I got my production name for my films that I still use today, which is Silly Sister Pictures. That Silly Sister is in reference to her. And the main, I guess, graphic that I use is this very shabbily drawn caricature. It's a stick figure of a girl with like long, blondish with black streaks in her hair. Now, I made that like in 2007. And at some point took a picture of it, and I used the picture I took of it as my intro. Even to this day with films, I use that as my introduction graphic for like films that I do. And the reason it looks like that is because my friend Shauna was always had like dirty blonde hair, but during this time she'd actually like colored it and made it black. So by this point she was like, the blonde was seeping back through, and so that's why that graphic looks the way it does. But anyway, the beginning of our doing videos was just that one time of one of our friends videoing us yelling at each other, and we were pretending in the video to be brother and sister. I think her name was Claudia, and my name was... crap. I don't remember what my name was in it. Her name was Claudia. I was something. And it's interesting because this was kind of the beginning, and it would ultimately kind of push towards being almost the end. I guess we did do stuff afterwards, but we essentially took this little 5-minute video and we expanded it and we made it into this ridiculous, just, you know, friends throwing a video together about brother and sister. We have a fight, and in the end I end up like stabbing her with a stick, and she dies, but then she comes back and haunts me, so to speak, and essentially drives me insane. And then after that, we did a sequel. That video we called She Came Back. She died, she came back to torment me. And the ending of She Came Back, I literally encounter her and freak and run and crash full speed into a wood fence and then fall back. And the implication is I die in that moment, because at the start of the next film that we did, which is called He Came Back, which is, I somehow never made it to YouTube. I made sure that She Came Back and the third video we did in this series got up onto YouTube, but He Came Back has yet to make it onto YouTube, and I don't know why. And essentially in that video, I come back from the dead, and then I don't really menace her, but we just kind of fight more, and you see our dynamic collapse, and then I find out that she's dying, and then, spoilers, she dies, and her spirit fades away, and then I'm allowed to fade away, and like, we go off to heaven or hell, wherever we end up. And that's kind of how that movie ends. Now, She Came Back was like 25 minutes, something like that. He Came Back was like 70 minutes, and a lot of it was just me filming myself doing crazy stuff. We then did our magnum opus during like mid-2007. It took us over a year, I think, to finish shooting it, and I have really long hair, even longer than I do here, but the length changes throughout the film because it took us so long. This film was They Came Back. They Came Back came in at a whopping 2 hours and 8 minutes in length, and it's available on the ZeeTeve channel and my Steve DeTeve 1000 channel. But it's broken up into pieces because we uploaded it so long. I don't know if people remember this, but you used to have to like qualify to do longer videos. If you were like new to YouTube, you hadn't put up a lot of content, didn't have a lot of subscribers or whatever, you could only upload 10-minute long videos. So if you had an hour-long video you wanted to upload, it had to be broken into 6 parts or more. And I remember when I got the notice saying, oh, you've been approved to upload 15-minute long videos. And then I got another one later, you've been approved to upload 20-minute videos. And now, I mean, you can just upload, I don't know, you can upload videos that are hours and hours and hours long. So yeah, they came back, which again we did mostly in 2007, 2008, was over 2 hours long. We just kept coming up with more stuff to add to it, and essentially the story was, well, you know what? I'll show you a trailer that I made for it, and hopefully that will give you an idea of what the film is about. Where are we?
All that matters is we're back.
We will try this guardian angel creature-like thing that you insist upon trying.
I have seen you before, walking the road alone, trying to be everybody's friend and make them all happy. And what has come of it? Your sister still hates you after all you have done.
You want something?
I've been commanded by the Dark One to kill you. And that video series actually, kept us fairly busy. I mean, you combine those movies together, it's like 4 hours, pretty much. And it was one of our undoings because we were so used to doing videos where we pretended to be brother and sister that we kind of started running out of ideas. And I remember, like, that was a running thing. Was she'd be like, Steve, we need to make a movie again. And I'm like, I know, but I don't know what to make. And she's like, yeah, I know. I can't think of anything to do that doesn't involve, like, a brother-sister dynamic. And, we would periodically come up with, some stuff was actually somewhat entertaining. A lot of the stuff we filmed when I was like 20, 21 years old, I had this metabolism that was through the roof. I wish I had it back, but I also was really obnoxious at times because I was just at a 10 all the time. Now I feel like I'm more at like a 7. But like we did a short called Pokemon Thief, and it was like a lot of these ideas we came up with on the spot. Very seldomly was anything we did ever scripted. There was always just a general idea of where a scene was going to lead, or what the overarching concept behind the whole film as a whole was going to be. So it was almost all like the stuff that me and Shauna did, and other friends would be incorporated as well from time to time. But 90% of the stuff we did, it was just we came up with something on the spot or whatever, and it was improvised. It was always improvised. We just kind of would just start something and go crazy. Hit record, just start acting until we couldn't act anymore. Hit stop, set up the camera in a new spot. We were doing stuff for fun. And the whole concept of the Pokemon Thief video was I am a lunatic who breaks into her place and she has a collection, and I steal it, and she pursues after me. And that was the whole concept of that one. And then we did another film called Prank Calls, which is the ending of that is what I opened this one with. And again, that was another video where we were sitting around, we were bored, we wanted to make a video, we didn't know what to do. And so we came up with this idea that I'm prank calling people and getting away with it. And then I call her, and she kind of turns the tables on me, and all of a sudden I go from essentially the hunter to the hunted, being led to believe that the president, which actually would have been, I think Obama would have just been elected. I don't remember exactly when we filmed it because it was like end of 2008, so I actually think technically George Bush was still president for like another couple weeks. And essentially she leads me to believe, she prank calls me after I prank call her, and convinces me that the Secret Service is going to show up to pick up a pizza, that they mistake me for a pizza place, and that I'm in a lot of trouble if I don't have a pizza for them.
Phone. Okay, *69.
Yeah, somebody's calling me. Hello?
Hello, Big Murphin Pizza. We're waiting for that pizza we ordered.
What?
Hello? What do you mean, who is this? The Secretary of the White House.
White House?
Okay, what kind of business are you running here? We ordered a pizza about a half hour ago for the President of the United States, and it's still not here. So, what's the deal? We need to get, we actually sent out the FBI agents in their helicopter.
FBI agents for what? This is not a pizza. It's.
Anyways, they'll be there like any second, and we're afraid if you do not have our pizza ready, we're gonna have to send you to jail.
Jail? What? Whoa! No! I'm not.
They're coming to get you right now. Just have the pizza ready in like 5 minutes, or else you don't even know. Bye.
I gotta find me a pizza!
So, I mean, the objective was always just to have fun. The intent was never to take it uber serious. And, there was like, a video. There was a video I did. Literally, I was driving my friend home, and another friend of mine was in the back seat, and she started filming us pretending to be a couple having an argument. We called it Alfred and Mitzi. I was Alfred, my friend was Mitzi. And yeah, it was just us showing that we're a very toxic couple as I'm driving her home.
Why?
Oh, wait,
I just don't want you to be.
I'm a what? I'm
I
an
just
asshole?
don't want you
I
to be
speak
like you
my mind?
are. I don't even know why I bother with you. I just.
What? Wait, why am I being the way? You started it!
Yeah. What?
You
What?
started
What was- Started what? Oh, yeah, because I'm the one who said, hey, look at that girl with her big boobs running up and down. Isn't that nice?
I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about everything. You're the friggin' chick that had to get blitzed ass drunk in the bar, so I had to take you home
You know
that night,
what?
drunk myself. Then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, wow, well, what am I gonna do with this now? Oh, let's get married. Great idea.
So you used
Mitzi. What kind of a name is Mitzi
What kind
anyway?
of name is Alfred?
What are you, an exotic dancer? Hey, there happens to be a great number of historians.
Where's your pocket protector, Alfred?
And then we followed that up, me and my friend Allison, who was she played Mitzi in that. And we followed that up. We did this series called Are You Trying to Have Sex With Me? And it was essentially just this series of like 1 to 2 minute short videos where I say something that could easily be misunderstood as a sexual advancement of some kind. And sometimes not so easily unless your mind is already there. And we did like 15 of them. And I posted them all on my first channel. And while we were in the midst of doing that, we actually started doing one that was supposed to be in that series, and it literally turned into us pretending to be an arguing couple, so I just made it another Alfred and Mitzi video. Well, I'm gonna have the ribs, and the little lady here is gonna have the spaghetti. Alright, thanks. Forgot to take the names back. Yeah, I was probably really busy.
Did you just call me little lady?
Well,
Did the words little lady come out of your mouth?
Well, I'd be lying if I said they didn't. It was just, that's the way people, that's the way guys talk when they're in a restaurant, They say, that's why I asked you what you were gonna order, so that I could order for you. It's.
You don't think I'm capable to order for myself?
That did not enter my idea at all. I was just trying to be a nice guy.
Oh,
help
so
order
you
your
think
food for you.
basically that women are not.
No. Do not turn this into something. You're making a scene. Everybody's staring at
I
us.
don't care if I'm making a scene.
Of course
Hey,
you-
everyone! This guy doesn't think women should be equal.
I never said that. No, I ordered her food for her. Come on. Hey, any guys in here tonight?
He called me a little lady.
Who of you? How many of you have never ordered food for your friend before?
Is anyone raising their hand? You see anyone?
That guy is.
And from that, you know, because the implication is we're in a very toxic relationship, I'm probably cheating on her with multiple women. And that sparked Alfred and Cassandra, which Shauna plays Cassandra. It was literally, I set up the camera in the back of my car, back when I had a car, and videoed us arguing, and she was essentially the girl I was seeing on the side. And it was the same thing. It showed that even that was a toxic relationship, even though it was kind of a seemingly no strings attached thing, but obviously both parties were getting a little bit too serious. So
Let's get a divorce, hey!
Hell. So what? I'm supposed to like lose my job?
No, are you listening to what I'm saying?
I don't know.
God.
You ever shut the hell up?
Are you saying I talk loud?
I didn't say you were talking loud. I'm saying that you're talking a lot, and it's
Like you're
bugging me in
not.
the ear.
Like you're not.
And everything you say is like so pointlessly ridiculous. It's like it goes in one ear and goes out the other because like it has no.
Okay, you better, you should be happy because like you wouldn't have met me unless you were drunk in that stupid bar.
That's it. You know what? I've had it with this bullshit conversation.
Good.
So here we are. Get the fuck out of my car.
Fucking gladly. God.
Fucking pain in the ass about everything.
Go to hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gladly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love her so much.
and then we did another, I think one of the last, I don't know last, but one of the later things we did was a video that I came up with. I don't know where it came from. It was called Hijacked, and essentially it's just like Pokemon Thief. I'm breaking into her house, she catches me in the act, and I try to act like all is cool and sketch her out, understandably, and she decides to run away, and I try to chase her down, and it turns into this video where she's in her car, and it's kind of a runaway car, and I'm stuck not under the hood because I have the hood open, and so I'm just sitting in the front of the car, on like the engine essentially, which of course in reality would friggin' burn me alive while a car's running, and it's a runaway car situation, so she can't do anything and I can't do anything, and just ultimately things happen.
I think I'm gonna grab one of these sticks.
Well, what's a stick gonna do?
I'm gonna grab one and try to blow your tires out.
Hey, those are new tires.
Dear Lord, about the only new thing on this car.
And they have the new design on them, like shoes do.
Alright, fine. You know what? I won't blow it out. We can just crash and die. Does that sound so much more appealing to you?
Well, will my tires be okay then?
Oh yeah, of course, Miley Cyrus. I'm blowing them out. I got one. On the count of 3.
So on 3 or 3 and then you're gonna do it?
Dear God, does it make any difference? 3 and slash.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Damn cheap foreign imported sticks.
Did it work? Why aren't we stopping?
Oh, crap. This just had to happen to me, didn't it? I gotta get another stick.
Why are we stopping?
Because you just had to have new tires now, didn't you?
We're not stopping because... Is this a riddle? Hello? Hello? Hello?
But the one thing that actually became kind of prominent with our channel, and it did kind of for a reason, was this. I mean, you know, videos are drastically different. Essentially, we started doing a succession of videos that dealt with sexuality, sexual preference. And I did these videos, and one of the main reasons I did them, or one of the main reasons that I guess we thought it was cool, because now I'm not exactly as chill with it as I was back when we were doing it, but we did a video, and it was called Bullshit. And essentially I play the epitome of the stereotypical bitchy gay guy.
I know, yeah. No, it's total bullshit. It is. No, it is. No. You are so right.
Excuse me, do you have change for $1?
Change?
Yeah. I need bus fare.
Hold on a second. There's some changes I'd like to make. Like your face. Yeah, that's right. Beat it.
Essentially, the character that I'm playing is essentially a representation of what anybody who has little comprehension of someone who is homosexual, not even just homosexual, but a male who may be more effeminate than other men. Like how somebody who has little knowledge of that and just assumes gay people are a certain way. My character is essentially a representation of what that guy would be like. So there was an objective. It wasn't intended to be offensive, but I look back at it now as a straight white guy. I don't know why whiteness has anything to do with that. As a straight guy, and I'm a little, I don't know, I think it's funny. But, you know, even with the objective we were going for, I kind of feel like it hasn't aged well. Let's just put it that way.
You know? Fuck 'em.
Watch out!
Bitch. You totally put that there. No. Seriously, no. Okay? Are you listening to this bullshit? Fucking bitch. Get out of my face, bitch. What kind of bitch is that hanging out around here?
And then Bullshit was followed up with by Unbelievable. Instead of me saying bullshit about everything, it's unbelievable about everything. And I did, wow, that was another short I did with Shauna. Actually, we had just gone to the river together, and I decided, what the hell, here's an opportunity to do a follow-up video, and essentially I'm sitting, because in Bullshit, I keep encountering Shauna over and over again, and it just, you know, each time I see her, I get a little bit more pissed and a little bit more pissed, and Unbelievable is, I'm just sitting, hanging out at the river, and she just happens to be there, and I get pissed. That's the substance. And this video never made it to our ZeeTeeve channel, but we did a short, like I don't know, about a 15-minute long film called Demonic Angel. And the whole video, it starts with me, I'm sitting in a park and I'm just thinking about life, and then all of a sudden I question, you know, inner monologue, I question whether I'm gay or not. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? No, what? And Shauna is essentially this angel or demon, whichever way you want to look at it. Obviously you know, that's where the name comes from, Demonic Angel. She's that, like, kind of, you know, head over my shoulder, trying to convince me one way or another, and she's trying to convince me that I'm gay, and I'm trying to say, no, that's silly, and eventually turns into this runaway thing. It's chaos, and it's funny, but it was another thing that we did that delved into the concept of sexuality, sexual preference. Even when we were doing these videos, people didn't really, the general populace didn't really talk much in terms of, you know, LGBTQ. That wasn't even, I mean, if it was a term, it was new enough that I'd never heard it during that time. Because a lot of these videos were doing like 2007, 2008, 2009, that area. And society was still very much, you were gay or you were straight. There was a lot of people that forgot that, you know, bisexuality was even a thing. You know, most people didn't even acknowledge that being transgendered was a thing. Not that that played so much into our videos, but that was kind of the time we were making it in. And it's important to remember, as a young adult, finishing high school, going into first stages of adulthood, and I've talked about this on my channel many times in the past, I was a staunchly conservative person. I supported Bush when he got elected in 2000, and when I was old enough to vote in 2004, I voted for him again. Don't tell anybody. And I wasn't aggressively conservative, but I was conservative, and I stood by my convictions, even though I don't think I had any idea what they were. And one of the elements of that was gay rights, and that's what it was, and now we refer to, like, the concept of marriage, we refer to it as marriage equality, but back then it was a matter of gay marriage and straight marriage, if you can call it that. One man, one woman, if you're old enough to remember. One man, one woman, that was bouncing around a lot, and we had two measures in 2004 that came up in the state of Oregon where I live. And I voted against both of them. I voted against implementation of gay marriage, and both those measures, even in liberal Oregon, were shot down. It was 2004, and like society, we just still weren't quite ready to give gay people that little something. Even in Oregon, it's amazing how people will vote when something is still considered taboo or whatever. And it took me a long time. It took me till almost the end of the first decade of the 2000s to really start to change. And one of the ways that I changed was when I first met Shauna. She considered, or at least she acted like she was straight. She told us she was straight. And then, I'd see her posting, like she'd post a blog on MySpace. Yes, MySpace. Talking about how she was having interest in girls and maybe, and not really knowing what that meant or where to go with it. And, she ultimately became bisexual. And then I don't know where she considers herself to be today, but then I know she kind of pretty much identified as a lesbian. Once it got to be about 2009, 2010, 2011, and so on and so forth. And you have all these misguided notions about homosexuality when you are a kind of blind conservative like I was. And honestly, it's a shame to say it, because here I am, I'm freaking, turning 20. I'm in my early 20s. I should be smart enough to know better, but I was the subject of how I was raised and what I taught myself to be. But to be upfront and honest, one of the things that, because it's like we always need to experience something directly to change. We can't just see it. I mean, some of us can, but I obviously wasn't adept enough to go that way. But I think one of the things that really shifted my opinion was I witnessed a close personal friend of mine transition from someone who described herself as being straight to someone who described herself as being bisexual and then lesbian. And realizing, it didn't take some wild transformation for that to happen. She didn't shift. She didn't have a personality breakdown. She wasn't suffering a mental disease or something like that. Not that I really thought that was, the case, but, when you experience your friend going through that and all of a sudden you realize, nothing shitty happened. Fancy that. So I know that, she was going through that transformation at that time, and her transformation ultimately led to my transformation in terms of my perspective on, beyond that whole element, just the rights of people in general. And, and part of my pulling myself out of that shell, because when you believe something for so long, no matter how dumb it is, it's hard to break away from it. I remember I'd start just writing about it as a way of just kind of releasing and kind of having to teach myself, dude, there's a lot of the perspectives you have, you're now questioning a lot of them. Why is that happening? And then I kind of started to realize that I didn't believe a lot of the stuff that I had been training myself to believe for so long. So it wasn't the hardest thing in the world to change. Once that, domino tipped, a lot of other dominoes tipped. And I became more like the person I am today. But I think, one of the dynamics that helped me along that way was doing these videos with Shauna, these videos where we were discussing, sexual persuasion and, what, beyond who you are in front of everybody. How are you thinking inside your head? That's kind of what Demonic Angel was getting at. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ow. Ow. Oh.
Why are you running away? I just want to tell you my conclusion. And I like your umbrella. It's pretty. Anyways, I've decided that you are not gay. Or straight. You're bi.
Bye!
Yes, bi. It means two.
You know, while these videos were done for fun, you know, the hell of it, they were a representation of both of us, you know, having these transitional feelings that we were having. So, you know, for all the comedy that came out of it, there was a lot of serious introspection going on within our minds. And, you know, it's a shame that once it got to be like 2009, we kind of weren't really making videos anymore. I actually checked our channel, and because, you know, we started our YouTube channel, we were going to try to like maybe promote it a little bit and do more stuff together, and that never really happened. But it is an archive for the stuff that we did do. And I noticed the first video that I uploaded on that channel, I uploaded on June 2nd, 2009, and the last video I uploaded was June 5th, 2009. So literally all the content on that channel was posted over the course of 3 days. But it's all there, all the stuff I told you guys about. And again, you know, beyond my Steve's Idiot Box channel, where it was just me posting dumb stuff I did with friends at whatever, there was a little bit more depth and substance to what we were putting out on this channel, even though, again, it was a lot of it was kind of dumb, and a lot of it was just for fun and the hell of it. But there was like an internal release that we were both kind of doing in certain elements of this. And ZeeTeveProductions was the thing we were kind of going towards. And, you know, I think one of the main things that kind of killed our video making was I went back to college at University of Portland in 2009. She started college right around that same time. I think the next year she started college, and then I actually went back to Clackamas, and there was actually a year where we overlapped in college, which was cool because we didn't go to high school together, so we never actually did that. And I took a class that she had to take just so we could have that experience of actually taking a class together, and I needed the credits anyway. And then she transferred to Portland State, and then I finished and kind of got into my real filmmaking, and it was like there just wasn't the time that there used to be to make videos while I was kind of in and out of college and she was finishing high school. You know, during that time we had a lot more free time to make videos, and, you know, as college and the future became more of a serious thing, we just kind of stopped making movies together. And Z, that was just a nickname she had. I don't remember where it came from. And Teve was a nickname that I got at work. Someone just said my name wrong, said Teve instead of Steve, and a couple people heard it, and it became this ongoing thing, and people were, for 4 or 5 years, that was like a nickname I had at work, was Teve, and so I kind of just used it. So that's where the ZeeTeve and ZeeTeveProductions came from. Compilation of things that me and my friend put together, primarily between 2006 and into like late 2008. 2006, 2008. Maybe one of these was actually done in 2009. Maybe Hijacked was. I don't really remember exactly. But that is the story behind ZeeTeveProductions, a channel that might have had a great future if life and reality didn't step in the way that I put together with my friend Shauna. You know, we haven't really seen each other recently. She's been all over the world, really. She actually majored in English and Japanese because she wanted to teach English in Japan, and lo and behold, she got work in Japan teaching English. So she isn't really in America all that often anymore, but, you know, we're still friends. We still occasionally contact each other, and, you know, we have a friendship going back more than a decade. And there was a period of about 4 or 5 years there where we were hanging out several days a week. And these videos were kind of substance that came out of that friendship. So I always value it, and that is the story of another crazy YouTube channel from my past that I don't even have access to anymore. So I hope you enjoyed. Maybe not quite as entertaining as the Steve's Idiot Box one, but more substance to it. Remember, as always, gang, to like, share, subscribe, hit up my Patreon if you so choose. And with all that said, till the next episode, this has been Steve the Amateur Historian, and I'll see you next time.